Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Friday to everybody. Before I get into the ACC Atlantic Division that I'm going to do today, I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day weekend. I'm headed out of town. I'm actually going up to the mountains just outside of Blacksburg, Virginia, up in Virginia Tech country. I'm going to a place where there's no internet and no phone service. So there won't be any videos made, and I won't be responding to any comments for the next 3 days, starting tomorrow. So anyway, let's get right into it. The ACC Atlantic Division. So yesterday I talked about the Coastal Division. I mentioned that was the weaker of the two divisions. The reason I say that is because there's just more better teams in the Atlantic Division. And because it's the truth, and Pigskin Pete don't lie. Everybody is already saying that, Clemson is the biggest shoe-in to win their conference and get back to the playoff more than any other team in the country. That, on paper, looks like it probably is true. However, I do think there is some teams that could upset the whole balance of power in the Atlantic Division this year. And by power, I mean Clemson. But first, let's get right into the bottom dwellers and eliminate them. Syracuse, yes, they beat Clemson last year. They're not going to win the division. They do have a really good quarterback, but a really bad mascot. It's a fruit. He's the reason that they even won 4 games last year. Without him, they might have gone 2-10 at best, and they certainly wouldn't have beat Clemson. But they're not going to do anything. Boston College. Boston College has always a tough defense. The problem with Boston College is they don't have very much offense, if any at all. Kind of like LSU, with a less annoying coach. And what happens is they hang with teams for 3 quarters based on their defense, and then their defense gets tired, and then they get blown out. I went to the Boston College-Clemson game last year in Clemson, and that's exactly what happened. In the third quarter, it was like a 7-point game, and then Clemson scored 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and just blew them off the map. Boston College, sorry, not good enough. Wake Forest. Wake Forest, much better than people think they are. What is it with these satanic mascots in the state of North Carolina? Blue Devil, Demon Deacon, 8 wins last year, 7 wins the year before. When people think of Wake Forest, they think bottom dweller. They are just getting better and better each year. I don't expect them to win the division, but listen, last year they won 8 games. They could have easily won 9 or 10. A couple of those games that they lost were very, very close games. So, they're one to look out for. However, as far as competing with Clemson or Miami or Florida State, I just don't see it. NC State. This is the team to keep an eye on that could possibly derail Clemson's season. They lost a lot of great talent on defense, mainly Bradley Chubb, but they still have the second best quarterback in the ACC behind Trevor Lawrence. They have the second best wide receiver in the ACC behind Clemson. But let's be real, second place is second place. If you ain't first, you're last. The defense will still be good. The coach is pretty good. They always give Clemson a tough game, and if they win all their ACC games... Did I just say win all their ACC games? That's a stretch. The winner of the NC State-Clemson game could possibly win that division. I have that game circled on my calendar. I hate NC State. I hate them because they're the biggest threat, in my mind, to keep Clemson from getting where they need to go. Florida State. Now, I hate Florida State more than any other team in the ACC. And that's strictly football related. And I had some friends growing up who were Florida State fans who like to remind me every 3 seconds about how they were the dominant team in the ACC. And of course, the tides have turned. So now I get to be the one reminding them that they are not anymore. And I love it. Jimbo Fisher left. They hired Willie Taggart, who coached at more teams in the past 3 years than most head coaches coached their whole life. But Florida State has more 4- and 5-star talent than anybody in the ACC right now other than Clemson. We have to go to Tallahassee, and I don't care who's coaching. They won't be a pushover. But they will be pushed over. And they will be looking to ruin Clemson's season. So other than NC State, that's the other game I have circled on my calendar for sure is Florida State. When it's all said and done, I still believe Clemson will be 11-1 or 12-0 possibly, small chance. But Clemson will be back in Charlotte to meet either Miami or Virginia Tech. Most likely will win the ACC for the 4th year in a row, and hopefully get back into the playoffs and can make a run at a second national title in 3 years. Go Tigers, we too deep. Have a great weekend. See y'all next week. Pigskin Pete, checking out.